Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show, man. Today is October the 30th, and there are I think it's 5 games on the board for today, so we'll jump into those. Before we get started and talk about today's games, always do a quick recap. Yesterday, another losing day for me. So it's back-to-back losing days. Yesterday, the day before yesterday was only one play, 0-1, when the Thunder and the Kings over the total. And then yesterday, took another over, which was Atlanta and Orlando, and that game also stayed under the total. So Trae Young got hurt. Yesterday was like a 1 + 1 = 7 game in the NBA for me. Boston was the other team that I faded. Was on Cleveland yesterday to go in and get the job done. They proved that they're not quite there yet at all. Lost the game by 20 yesterday to Boston. So those were the 2 looks for myself, kind of easing into the season, but hasn't been good, at least recently. Hopefully we can close October out positive, and then of course replicate that and send that into November and December. But got to do a little bit better today, man. Hopefully you guys did a little bit better than me and made some money yesterday. All right, we are going to jump into it for today. So let's start with JaXon, the AI sports betting tool. JaXon went 1-1 yesterday. I did remember the plays from yesterday. It was Cedric Coward over his 11.5 points. He finished with 14 last night against Phoenix. So that was the one winner. The loser was actually Trey Jones. Trey Jones of the Chicago Bulls over his 19.5 points plus assists. And that was a loser. He finished with just 11 points. Just didn't shoot the ball that many times yesterday. I think he had 5 assists. So barely stayed under the number, but 1-1 day for JaXon. Today, I asked JaXon the same exact prompt. What are the 2 best player props for today in the NBA based on this year's stats? JaXon likes, and I like this one as well, Giannis Antetokounmpo over his 43.5 points plus rebounds. It says Giannis has been an absolute force to start the season, making it over for his combined points plus rebounds line, one of the most confident plays on the board. This line set at 43.5, but his production has consistently soared past this mark. So I was looking into this last night as well. It says that he's been remarkably consistent hitting over this combined number, demonstrating elite usage and efficiency in the early part of the season. He's over 43.5 points plus rebounds in 100% of his last 5 games, averaging a massive 50.2 combined points plus rebounds during that stretch. Looking back further, he's cleared the line in 80% of his last 10 games, averaging 48.6, and 73% of his last 15 games, averaging 47.07. His season-long performance is flawless, hitting over 100% of his 4 games played this season, averaging 50.25. And then you got defense. The Warriors ranked 22nd in the league against the position Giannis plays for the combined prop. Blah, 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 blah. All right, so then it goes into some home stuff, narrative stuff. I'm not reading all that. All right, next player prop is LaMelo Ball over his 7.5 assists. So this says LaMelo has been the primary playmaker for the Charlotte Hornets, and his assist number has been consistently high to start the season. Facing an Orlando team that struggles to contain opposing playmakers. I said this yesterday about Cade, and then didn't play Cade, and that was easy yesterday. Orlando's struggling with guards. But anyway, back to this. It says they're struggling to contain opposing playmakers, making the over 7.5 assists a strong statistical play. LaMelo has been distributing the ball at an elite level, easily clearing the 7.5 assists in recent contests. He said the over 7.5 and 100% of his last 5 games, maintaining a high average of 9.4 assists per game. His consistency extends further, hitting the over 90% of his last 10 games, averaging 9.5 assists. For the season, LaMelo's hit the over 100% of his 4 games this season, averaging 9.5. So then you got the Magic defense, which ranks 28th in the league against point guards for assists. This means that they're one of the worst 3 teams in the NBA at limiting assists, providing some massive statistical tailwind for LaMelo. Home performance, news, narrative, all that good stuff. So JaXon likes LaMelo over 7.5 assists, and Antetokounmpo over Giannis over his 43.5 points plus rebounds. My throat is still a little bit sore, so I'm gonna be taking a couple hydration breaks, just to keep the hot lemon honey water, kind of keeping me afloat today. All right, go through the comments real quick, and we'll jump into these 5 games on the board. Leva says, I think I might build a under parlay today. What's up, Tax? ChrisBeCappinn Community. After the Bucks last win, Giannis at the post game was talking kind of heavy. He has to back it, Giannis, for 50 and a triple double tonight. Okay, What's up, Prolific? Prestigious Pride, appreciate you for tapping in as always, my brother. Good morning, Rondo. Appreciate you for tapping in. What up, Justin? Hope all is well with you. Good morning, AOD. Brian says, great morning, Chris. Let's get it. Wemby over his points, rebounds, and assists. We'll talk about it. We'll make sure that we talk about that. Tyler says, good morning, brother. How about Reeves last night? Austin Reeves is somebody I got to stop ignoring, man. Especially, I was listening to Dave McMenamin covers the Lakers, and he said yesterday that LeBron's going to be out probably until the third week of November. So about 3 more weeks for LeBron, 3 to 4 more weeks. And then Luka's going to be out for the next couple of games is how it was quoted. So got to be looking at Austin Reeves. I know the numbers are going to continue to go up, but Austin Reeves hooped last night. Game winner, 16 assists. Dude was killing it last night, man. Zachary says, Lakers, great dub. Yeah, I had to throw the LA shirt on today for that. Carlos says, good morning. Let's have a day. Can't believe the Lakers pulled that W out. Yeah, the Timberwolves are still haven't covered the spread so far. That's a good point. RR says they're laying too many points. Don't lay points with the Timberwolves. They are a team that don't really cover that much. I agree with you as a favorite. What up, Hot TV? Just glad to catch it live with the Get Money game. We here. Good morning, Fur. DeWiz says small slate money still to be won. Let's get it, Chris. Hope everyone's doing well. Appreciate that, bro. And what up, G421? Appreciate you as well. He says LaMelo assist cooking. Agree with JaXon. All right, let's jump into the matchups for today. So first up, Magic are at the Magic is still on the road. They are they're laying 3 points. And the Hornets are getting 3 at the crib. This number should be updated. Yeah, 3. It opened 4 though, so money is coming in. It's still coming down because this was 3.5 last night. I guess. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? The Magic, I talked about it yesterday. You don't want to be out there catching the falling knife. And a lot of the times, just so you guys know, a lot of you probably know this already, but for my new sports bettors, you want to take the better team that is supposed to be in the proverbial bounce back spot. You want to take them after a couple, like after you don't want to take them when they're when they don't have time to figure it out, right? The Magic will be playing. This is not only just their second leg of a back-to-back. Of course, they lost last night and got smoked by the Detroit Pistons, gave up another 130 last night as well. But outside of that, like this is also third game in 4 nights, fourth game in 6 nights, and it's fifth game in 7 nights. The Orlando Magic are the first team this season to be playing 5 games in 7 nights. So you don't. I was listening to Jamal Mosley last night, and one of the things he mentioned, which made me kind of think about it. I had forgot about this, but it's something that we talk about frequently. You don't really want to be jumping out there, thinking, oh yeah, they'll bounce back in this spot. Because I just did it the other night and they got smoked against Philly. Couldn't stop, VJ or couldn't stop Tyrese Maxey. And let's see what the quote was. He said, I can't find it right now, but I was reading a quote from Jamal Murray. It might have been on like the beat writer list. And he was just saying like they got a lot to figure out. Specifically on the defensive end, though, he kept saying like we got to guard. We have to sit down and guard. That's what the direct quote. I think he said it 5 times last night in his press conference, and they still are not doing so. You look at the Magic or you look at the Orlando Magic defensive rating. They got a defensive rating of 139.4 against Detroit last night, which was even worse than Philly. Against Philly, they had a 138.8, and I told you guys that was the worst since the Kyrie Irving game yesterday. So, I mean, just proving that they're not going to play much defense. Now, on the Charlotte side of things, and I didn't mention the injury report, but for Orlando, they will – I think it's just Mo Wagner who continues to remain out, but they can add people to the list. A little bit of a sense of urgency Orlando got to be playing with starting the season 0-4. I'm sorry, 1-4 straight up, and I don't think they've covered a number yet. But on the Charlotte side of things, you still will be shorthanded without the services of Brandon Miller. The way Orlando's playing defense right now, this total has only flown up. It's really hard for me to think I want to bet it over at 240. I lost a bet yesterday with a total that I felt like should have got up and over the number, and it didn't because it was one of these super high totals. So now we're seeing some of these games are getting up to 255, 260. Some of them are staying, at 230, 235. And this is a game where I do expect a lot of pace. Orlando is pushing the ball, turning it over, fouling at a very, very high rate. And Charlotte's only playing fast as well. Charlotte last game was 260 against the Miami Heat. They gave up 144 in that game. So I do think the Orlando Magic, they have the advantage, down low with as far as size goes. Wendell Carter Jr., Paolo Banchero, but they're not in a great spot, man. I think if Brandon Miller was in, I would definitely be taking Charlotte in this spot plus the points. But Orlando is going to get it right eventually. I can't lay points with them on the road, so by consensus, it will be Charlotte plus the 3. And then I guess it'd still be a look towards the over. Orlando's defense will get better, but I don't think it's going to get better anytime soon until they can get home and kind of get situated. They have a couple days off in a row. They don't play on Thursday or Friday. They don't play on Friday or Saturday, I don't think. So they get a couple days off to figure it out. But I think I would be looking towards Charlotte, especially with them coming off a loss. They got beat down in that game against the Heat the other day, lost by 27 as a 4.5-point dog. And they only 1-3 against the spread as well. Orlando also beat them all 4 times last season, covered all 4 spreads, with 3 of them going under the total. So it's really hard for me to want to bet over 241.5, but this total is only going up. And the way the Magic are playing defense, it only makes sense. Let's see what you guys are thinking here. I would be looking at some props, some Con Knueppel props, Colin Sexton potentially. LaMelo, I think, is the next guard that's in line, right? We just talked about this yesterday. I should have bet Cade. He had 30 and 10 last night. Before that, it was Maxey who had 40. Before that, it was Josh Giddey who had, I forgot what, but all of the guards are just doing whatever they want to do against this Orlando Magic defense right now. They literally can't stop guards. So LaMelo should be in a really good spot as well, man. All right, let's see what you guys are thinking. We'll move on to the next. What's up? 714 TV says, KU, Chris. Shadow says, told you the Pelicans will get blown out. Still took Jokic points, rebounds, assists. Pelicans are trash, man. I should have just blindly. I talked about Denver offense yesterday. Should have blindly just took them too. Let's see. Tariq says, good morning, Chris. Nasty rainy day in Northern Virginia. Spurs, my main play today. Yeah, bro. I woke up at 4:50 this morning because I just couldn't sleep no more because of the rain. It was just raining so hard. So I'm right there with you, Tariq. It's raining in Central VA like it is in Northern VA as well. What's up, Brian? Says, what up, Chris? Give me the Hornets here. Justin says he'll play the double-double at 123 for LaMelo. K came through with that 30 ball. He did. Magic are just out of sorts. They aren't the team I thought that they would be coming in. There's plenty of season left, but yeah, I agree with this. Definitely agree with this comment. I heart double-double. We haven't got to that game yet. Con Knueppel over his 2.5 threes. LaMelo over 7.5 assists. Agree with both of these from Hot TV. What up, Jay? Appreciate you for tapping in. JaQuis says Hornets money line, ball assists. Gregory says AD crushed my 4-leg parlay. Yeah, get well, AD. I didn't even read the rest of that, but yeah, it was terrible, man. Especially with Trae Young getting hurt last night. Yeah. AOD says Detroit basketball, Smack City. Yeah, they did get the job done last night. What else y'all seeing in the comments? LaMelo 25 at -120. I like it, Meech. I do like LaMelo in this spot. Banchero tried flexing on us. He did. Missed both of them free throws at the line yesterday. Will says beautiful day yesterday. Memphis money line, Pistons money line. Hornets plus 4.5. LaMelo ball over his threes. I like both of those as well. If I'm betting this game, I think I am probably just taking LaMelo over his points plus assists because I think the line was what somebody Meech said 25, and then his assists is at 7.5. I think he can finish with 35. What was that? 34.5, 33.5. I think he can go over that number. All right, let's keep moving. Next game up we have is the Warriors and the Bucks. This is gonna be a good one, man. I actually went back this morning and was watching the Bucks versus the New York Knicks game. Specifically that second half, because Giannis started to turn up. Said, "This my city." I said, "Okay, Giannis." So we look at the injury report first, and Golden State just has Moody listed as questionable, no Milton, of course, and then Giannis is listed as probable, and Kevin Porter Jr. remains out. So pretty much full strength for both teams. These are not two teams I really want to bet against. This total, the spread hasn't really moved a lot at all. It did open Golden State -3. It's come down to 2.5. Total has gone up just slightly, 231.5. It went up to 232. It's still like kind of at that 232, 231.5 range. So Golden State has played really, really good. I don't really want to fade Golden State. They're both 4-1 straight up and against the number. But they are playing their third game in 4 nights and traveling after beating the Clippers in a very, very, I wouldn't say hard fought because they ended up winning the game by almost 20, but a very good defensive effort in that game against the Los Angeles Clippers. And that was on the second leg of a back-to-back. And then you got the Milwaukee Bucks, who are also 3-1 straight up. They're perfect 4-0 against the number. Also, won their last game as a dog on Tuesday. This will be their second straight home game with the Kings coming to town on Saturday. So you look back a little bit. Golden State did win both games last season. They covered both spreads. Golden State's actually beat the Bucks 5 straight times. They've won 4. They've covered 5 straight times. And they won 4 of the last 5 head-to-head matchups between these two teams. So first thing I thought about yesterday was this. I kind of want the home dog best player. So I want Giannis. His 31.5 points was something that I was looking at last night. I want to pull this up and show you guys real quick. Giannis over his 31.5 points was something that I considered. His assists. I think I would go more rebounds than assists in this game, just because Giannis' assists been like barely getting there on the number or barely going under the number. So if we look at Giannis real quick, first I'll show you guys his assists and why I didn't really want to bet the assists. The Warriors are actually playing some pretty good defense. And if we look at this season, his assist 7.5. See, he been getting to 7 and then kind of stopping. I do think that the Golden State Warriors are probably going to build a wall and make somebody else beat them. But I mean, they're sharing the basketball really, really well right now. The Warriors are. But look at his point. The Bucks are. But look at his points. 30.5 is the number. He's gone over that every single game so far this season. You can see against the Wizards, Toronto Raptors, Cleveland, and the Knicks. And these three are not the greatest defenses, but the New York Knicks are a pretty good defense. I like it because the Warriors will be playing 3rd and 4 with travel. So that could make them a little bit more tired on the defensive end. We got to remember this Warriors team is a little bit more of an older team as well. Not that they aren't great, but they are a little bit of more of an over team. And then you come down here, Giannis is being super aggressive. You can see that he's shooting 20 shots a game, making 14 a game, shooting 70% from the field. You like to see that. And you also like to see the free throw attempts. He's getting to the line, 10.5 times, only shooting 65%, but getting to the line 10.5 times. I think this is a prime time matchup for Giannis in this spot. And then his rebounds, he's been crushing as well. I think we talked about this against the Knicks. 12.5 is the number. He did go under against the Knicks in this game here, but we know the Warriors are not necessarily the greatest rebounding team. They do limit offensive rebounds, but I think Giannis can get busy on the boards as well. So Giannis, either his rebounds or his points, maybe just put them together. I think Giannis is in for a big game as a home dog here in this spot. So that would be my thought process on this game. I also just quickly wanted to touch on the total. I feel like it could go one of two ways. I feel like this is the game where the Warriors offense is still able to score. I think defensively they have a little bit of a let up in this game. So if I'm betting, I think I like the total. I think I agree with the market pushing this a little bit more up from 231 to 231.5, 232. So I'll probably try to grab a 231.5 and think that it goes over. Should be a really great offensive game between two of the better offensive teams right now in the league. And just to put some numbers to that real quick, Golden State the Bucks are 9th in points per 100 possessions and first in effective field goal percentage. And the Golden State Warriors, not that either one of these teams are poor defensively, but Golden State also is 8th in offense and 2nd in effective field goal percentage. So both of these teams are the top 2 efficiency teams in the NBA so far this season. All right, that's my thought process on the game. Also consider Jimmy. I looked into this game probably too long. Jimmy has done really, really well against the Bucks in his career, and he's done really, really well to start the season as well. So I consider Jimmy over his 28.5 points plus points, rebounds, and assists too. I didn't bet either yet though. Versus great game to watch, not to gamble. Warriors 5-0 ATS, last 5 against the Bucks. Only Giannis props for me. Yeah, I could see it, Justin. I don't really want to step in front of either one of these teams. Give me Giannis over his points plus rebounds. Dom says if I could travel like Giannis doesn't, I would be unstoppable too. He did go all the way back to Athens the other night against the Knicks. That was pretty bad. What's up, Lightbearer? Appreciate you for tapping in. Tyler says not a ton of pace for the Bucks and the Warriors. I think under. So we look at pace numbers real quick. Let's look at pace. I feel like it's not necessarily pace, Tyler. It's more so efficiency. And the Warriors are 21st in pace, but like I said, they're the second most efficient team. And then the Bucks are 11th in pace right now, and they are the most efficient team in the NBA. I don't see his name mentioned, but AJ Green over his 3-point prop is definitely another really good look. Watching the game against the Knicks the other day just highlighted how much he's able to shoot wide open threes because Giannis is such a willing passer. He had a couple willing passes on his team, but we shall see, man. I think Giannis would probably be the way that I would look at this game, if anything at all. All right, next one is the Wizards and the Thunder. Line open 14.5. It's up to 15.5. Total open to 29.5. It's up to 231. So I think I saw yesterday. Well, I know I saw yesterday. Chet continues to be out, and Isaiah Joe been upgraded to questionable. Topic is out. Kendrick Williams and Jalen Williams will also still remain out. So if the Oklahoma City Thunder get Isaiah Joe back, that I think that could be super helpful. So I bet the Thunder and the Kings over the other day, thinking that it will be a little bit more offensive game, would be less pace. The Thunder may not lock in defensively, and the Kings they literally couldn't score the basketball. It's hard for the guards to get going against OKC's defense. OKC was able to scrap and claw back in that game, laying 15 points in this spot. Not necessarily the greatest spot, but do you really want to take the Wizards? The Wizards are a dirty dog for today. The words of my man Ski. They also coming off an overtime game, which you don't necessarily like. They're 1-3, both straight up and against the spread. Probably should have won that game against Philly the other day, so I'm pretty sure they'll still be motivated. They typically get owned by the Thunder team. The Thunder have won 6 straight. They've covered 3 straight and 8 of the last 10 against the Wizards. Totals are also 8-2 to the over in the last 10 as well. OKC number kind of catching up with them. They're finally they're one of the, I think it's 4 undefeated teams in the NBA left. So they are perfect 5-0, but just 1-4 against the spread so far. They have not been covering, but they don't have a real look ahead spot on deck. They play on Sunday against the Pelicans, so no real look ahead spot for them. Washington, a one-off road game for them. They come back home and host Orlando on Saturday. So I don't know. I guess this is the game I would go back to the over. I feel like the Wizards can give up 150 points. You just wonder about the Thunder's offense, man, because it hasn't been great recently. They're one of the worst 3-point shooting teams right now, and I think that's a big part of them, struggling to get separation. And real quick, just to put some numbers to how poorly they're shooting the basketball, the Thunder are the worst accuracy team in the NBA right now from the 3-point line. Crazy to think they're perfect 5-0. They're shooting 29.9% from the 3-point line. 30.7% from the above the break 3 and 23.3% from the corner 3. Both of those numbers are bottom 5 in the NBA. So they're just not shooting the ball well. We know we know the Wizards can absolutely give it up. One of the worst defenses in the NBA. They rank 25th in opponent 3-point accuracy, 22nd and above the break 3-point accuracy. So if OKC has a game where they should be able to score some points, it should be this game. Offensively, like I said, they have not necessarily done they have not been great so far this season. They actually don't have a offensive rating that's above 113 but once, and that was their game where they played Atlanta and beat Atlanta 117 to 100. And that was the only game also that they covered. And they were playing against Atlanta's B team because Atlanta was down a lot of players in that game. So I guess if I had to play, I would play over. You just wonder how much Washington can contribute. Washington defensively has been atrocious. Offensively, I feel like they've had a couple good games where they've been able to score. They got to 120 against the Bucks and opening night, 120, 134 against Philly. But just consistently give it up. Philly got to 139 in overtime, and Charlotte got to 139 as well. Milwaukee also got to 133. So they've only had one, really good defensive showing that came against the Dallas Mavericks, and the Mavericks have gone under in every single game with no real point guard. So yeah, take with that information, do what you want. If I'm betting, I guess I'm betting over. Maybe a look towards OKC team total over. Let's see what you guys are thinking here. Adam likes Isaiah Hartenstein double potential blowout worries me. He should get busy, especially with no Chet in this game. Thunder haven't been able to cover. They aren't dominating like last year. That's a fact. Warriors plus 1,500, not a bad look. I don't think that's a bad look at all. I just worry about injuries, man. You start to see like AD's gone down, and like then not that it matters, but Trae Young has gone down. Atlanta ain't winning the championship, but Trae Young's gone down. Like you hate to start seeing these injuries, and the pace is only picking up for all of the teams. And I think that's why the Achilles and the ACL started to happen last season. Justin says close to Thunder over 231, 7 straight overs in this matchup. Yep, saw it. I did see it. Sprinkled on OKC to win all quarters on DraftKings, Jay says. Okay. Wizards have been doing Harry Potter type things, man. Leaning Wizards plus 15.5, maybe plus 16.5 for safety. Maybe plus 19.5 for safety. Chet has been saving them. I agree with that. But OKC is and the other thing about OKC is they're playing their fourth game in 6 nights as well. So Charlotte, Orlando, OKC are all playing their fourth game in 6 nights, and the Magic are the only team playing their fifth game in 7 nights. I think that's the first time we've seen that all season. Let's see. Chet is out, Adam. He is out. The Wiz says I say under here. CJ McCollum under his points, rebounds, and assists. I can see that. They might even pull him if it's a blowout. Kendrick. I think I like that actually. I think I'm gonna write that down. I could definitely see without even looking into the numbers. I could see CJ going under. I'm gonna go check his numbers and see what they look like. CJ McCollum. The bigs have actually had more success against this Wizards team. I mentioned that the other day. I mean, against this Thunder team. I mentioned that the other day. And I did watch Alex Sarr give Embiid the work the other day. Alex Sarr looked really, really good. CJ has been terrible. I love his. All right, cool. Let's get into the last game on the board, which is the Miami Heat and the San Antonio Spurs. Probably game of the night, right? If not, Golden State and Milwaukee. And then cup games start tomorrow. Keep in mind that those games tomorrow are cup games. 8 cup games. All the lines are already out on DraftKings and Hard Rock already as well. All right, so let's go to Heat and Spurs. Should be a very, very intriguing game. The difficulty that I'm having in this game is the injury report. The Miami Heat, extensive injury report. So no Tyler Hero, of course. JaXon continues to be out. Norman Powell's listed as doubtful after missing that game against the Charlotte Hornets the other day. It didn't matter. They still end up scoring almost 150 points against the Charlotte Hornets without him. And then Jovic is listed as questionable in this game as well. He's been big, especially without Norman Powell. So if you don't have Norman Powell, you don't have Jovic. Oh, man, I feel like it starts to get a little tricky. The San Antonio Spurs will still be without Luke Cornett, no Kelly Olynyk, no Jeremy Sohan, and De'Aaron Fox continues to be out as well. So what I wrote in my notes was that for the Miami Heat, they are perfect 4-0. Straight 4-0 against the spread, 3-1 straight up. I think the only loss came against the Magic on opening night, and they've already covered twice on the road. San Antonio is a perfect 3-0, well, not a perfect, but they're 3-0-1 against the spread so far this season. They do have an extra day of rest and haven't had to travel at all with their last 2 games, both coming at home. Miami has looked really, really good so far this season. They actually not even this season. They look really, really good. I don't know if it's a Spoelstra thing against the Spurs, going back to the finals or what, but Miami typically plays the Spurs really, really well. They've won 5 straight. They've covered 4 of the last 5. The Miami Heat have. Both of these teams are really, really good offensively. The Spurs are a little bit better defensively than the Miami Heat are. Well, actually, they're not. Both teams are really, really good offensively and defensively. My apologies. Miami's 5th in offensive rating and 1st in defensive rating with a 105.1 defensive rating. It's kind of crazy to think. But if they're down Jokic, if they're down Jovic, who's listed as questionable, and Norman Powell doesn't play, to me that impacts the offense a little bit more than the defense. So I think the Spurs will be able to score. The Spurs are really, really good offensively and defensively as well. They're 3rd in defensive rating, and I think that their defense is better than their offense. 7th in offensive rating, 5th in effective field goal percentage. It's a super small sample size, but we do have about 5 games worth of data on these teams. I think I want to take the Miami Heat here to cover the number, but I want Jovic in, and I kind of want, and I know he might not play, but I want Norman Powell in too. I don't know, man. Like, I think about who these teams play for the Miami Heat. They just beat the Charlotte Hornets. I don't think about the Charlotte Hornets as a good defensive team. Now you get the San Antonio Spurs, who are, I think, in my opinion, a little bit better defensively. The Spurs, if we go back through their game log, I feel like they've been playing against some cupcakes. I know the Spurs are, one of the only undefeated teams in the NBA, but I feel like they've had the easier strength of schedule. And I don't have my strength of schedule numbers. Yeah, they played Toronto, who hasn't won a game yet outside of the first game in Atlanta. And they played Brooklyn, who still hasn't won a game. Before that, they played the Pelicans. And on opening night, they played the Mavs. So they haven't played a playoff team yet. And I think the Miami Heat are real. I'm taking the points with the Miami Heat if I'm betting this game. But I want Norm Powell in. And if Norm Powell doesn't play, I definitely want Jovic to be in. So that's my thought process in this game, man. It's Miami plus the points for me. Potentially a look towards Miami first half. They've covered, I think, every first half so far. And then, they'll kind of, let the lead slip. But Miami's look really, really good early in games. I just want them to be at full strength here. Player prop wise, Bam Adebayo over his 1.5 threes. He has been absolutely on fire. I don't know how many threes he shot over the summer per game, per day. But he's shot at least 5 threes in every game so far this season. He's making 2.3 per game and shooting 40% from the 3-point line. So I do like Bam 3-pointers in this game. Wemby on the other side, he's an alien, man. Dude does whatever he wants to do. Bam's going to have his hands full. But they do have somebody that is a little lengthy. Khalil Ware, not necessarily a poor defender. It's really, really difficult to guard Wemby. Wemby's a 1-on-1. But Khalil Ware and Bam, I think that may be one of the best front lines that they're going to play, that Wemby's going to face all season this year. So that's my thought process on Wemby. Not that I wouldn't, look at his player props, but I think it could be a game where, he doesn't necessarily have his greatest game. And real quick, I just want to look at pace real quick, give you guys some pace numbers. I don't think I wrote this down. San Antonio is 27th in pace. So they're not even playing fast. They're just playing super efficiently. And then the Miami Heat, I know, are pushing pace. I think they were number 1, right? Yeah, number 1 in pace are the Miami Heat so far this season. So Miami wants to get up and down the floor. San Antonio wants to slow it down a little bit. Whatever team dictate pace could, be in a more favorable matchup. I think it's Miami plus the points for me if I'm betting this game at all. Let's go through the comments real quick, and then we're going to get ready to get up out of here. All right, let's see what you guys are seeing. Just give me Wemby blocks as long as it's 3.5. What is Wemby blocks for today? Let's go through and see it real quick. Yeah, it's 3.5. He has been getting, I think he's averaging more than 4. 3.5 minus 110 on BetMGM, but it's minus 125 and minus 129 on ESPN Bet and DraftKings. That's why you get odds, Jam, so you can get the best of the number. But BetMGM has the best odds right now, just so you guys are aware. If you have BetMGM, best place to play Wemby blocks. Heat are balling, but they won't have an answer for Wemby. Bam under. Hot TV Grid said, I did see some stuff about Bam under his points, rebounds, and assists. I saw a lot of data that supported that as well, Hot TV. Miami team total 123.5 last game. And now team total is 112.5 against the Spurs. Shadow says maybe Wemby rebounds and assists. They have to double him, right? Bam is too small. And he is too small. Everybody's too small to guard Wemby, though. It's no matchup for Wemby. G421 says Miami's been running pace and covering on the Heat plus 5.5. I like it. I like Bam under and Jaime Jaquez Jr. over his 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists for Chamu, I think is how you pronounce that. The Wiz says buy low spot for the Spurs at home. I don't think so, The Wiz. I think, I just went through this strength of schedule. Spurs have been playing the cupcakes so far. I don't like this. Toronto, Brooklyn, the Pelicans, and the Mavs to start the season. I don't think you could have ordered up anything easier. Who else played an easier strength of schedule than this? The Mavs, the Pelicans, the Nets, and the Raptors. Yeah. It's Miami plus the points for me in this game. That's my thought process. All right. And that's the last comment, man. Charlotte plus the points. Don't think I'll get there with an over, but probably can only look towards the over. Golden State, Milwaukee, I think that one goes over. I do like Giannis props as well. And then in the Miami game, OKC and Washington, I guess I would play over in that game too, but I'm not sure. I think OKC will be able to score. Not sure if the Wizards will be able to keep up. And then yeah, I think I'm taking the points in this game. I think I'm taking the points. If Jovic is in and Norm Powell gets ruled questionable, I'll be on Miami plus the points in this game. Let's see what you guys are able to come up with tonight as well. So that's the short list. Resources are listed here. Check them out. All of them I went over on the show. They're all linked in the description. You guys check them out. Hit the like button for me on the way out. Subscribe to the channel. Turn the notification bell on. Enjoy your day, man. I'll catch you guys in the next one.